A few years ago, I had a conversation that completely changed how I think about money. Not about making more of it, about what it actually means when it comes in. The person I was talking to asked me one question that I hadn't been asked before. When money comes into your business, where does it go? I started to answer and realized I didn't actually know. Stay until the end because I'm going to share what I learned from that question and how it changed not just how I manage money, but how I build everything around it. If you've ever made good money and wondered where it went, this one is for you. I was making solid revenue at the time, enough to feel successful, enough to feel like things were working. But when that question landed, I realized I had no real answer. Money came in, expenses went out. What was left felt random. Some months more, some months less. No system, no structure, no design, just revenue flowing through a business with no container to hold it. I had built a machine that generated, but no architecture around what it generated. And that gap between generating and protecting is where most operators quietly lose the wealth they think they're building. They work hard, they earn well, and then they look up 5 years later and wonder why the number in the account doesn't reflect the effort. That conversation was the beginning of building the financial layer of my operator infrastructure, and it changed everything. If you've ever had a good revenue month and still felt financially anxious, subscribe right now. That feeling has a name and a fix, and this channel builds the fix one layer at a time. Here's what I learned to build. The financial infrastructure of a serious operator has 3 layers. The first is allocation, not budgeting. Allocation, every dollar that comes in has a destination before it arrives. Operating costs, owner compensation, tax reserve, reinvestment, protection reserve. When money comes in, it doesn't sit in one account waiting to be spent. It moves immediately to where it belongs. That single habit eliminates most financial anxiety overnight because you always know where the money is and what it's for. The second layer is protection, a reserve that exists specifically to absorb bad months, not to be touched for growth, not to be used for opportunity, to absorb bad months. Most operators don't build this until after the first bad month nearly breaks them. Build it before. 3 months of operating expenses sitting untouched. That's the floor. The third layer is separation. Personal and business finances completely separated. Not just in different accounts, in different mental models. The business generates. The business pays you. You live on what the business pays you, not on whatever is left after everything else. When the separation is clean, the business becomes an asset. When it's blurry, it's just a complicated personal account. 18 months after I built those 3 layers, I had my first genuinely bad quarter. Revenue down significantly, unexpected costs. 2 clients paused simultaneously. In the past, that would have been a crisis. In the past, I would have felt it personally. In the past, the anxiety would have been overwhelming. Instead, I looked at the protection reserve. It was there. I looked at the allocation system. It was working. I looked at the separation. Clean. The bad quarter was a data point, not a disaster. The business absorbed it the way a well-built structure absorbs a storm. Not because I was lucky, because I had built the infrastructure before the storm came. That's what financial architecture does. It doesn't make bad quarters disappear. It makes them survivable without the survival costing you everything else. Here's the question I want you to sit with. When money comes into your business, where does it go? If your answer is anywhere close to "I'm not entirely sure," that's the next layer to build. Not more revenue, more structure around the revenue you have. Start with allocation. Give every dollar a destination before it arrives. That one change will tell you more about your business than any revenue target ever will. The full framework is free at patricksystems.com, including the capital structuring layer that covers exactly this. patricksystems.com. And if this explained a feeling you've had but never been able to name, subscribe. One layer every week, no financial advice, just operator infrastructure. See you next week.